decreed federal government's decision to dissolve governing council in universities across the country. Gunmen attack Haipang community in Plateau State, killing 21 persons. South Africa's former president Jacob Zuma spared from returning to prison. Today is 22nd Muharram 1445 after the Hijrah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is equivalent to 11th August 2023. I am Salamatan Aliman with the news in full. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, yesterday decreed the federal government's decision to dissolve the governing councils in universities across the country. The union called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to rescind what they describe as an obnoxious decision to dissolve the councils without completing their tenures of office. The national vice chairman of ASU, Comrade Christopher Puana, of the University of Jos, spoke while presenting a paper at an event organized in honor of retiring lecturers at the Joseph Serwan Terka University, Makurdi, formerly called the Federal University of Agriculture, Makurdi, in Benue State. Puana said it is wrong to dissolve governing council and transfer the power of councils to the Federal Ministry of Education or the National University Commission without due recourse to the university laws. At yesterday's meeting in Abuja, the president of the ECOWAS Commission, Dr. Umar Toure, said troops will be deployed to Niger while reading the resolution taken at the end of the second extraordinary summit of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of the Regional Bloc on the Niger coup. While ECOWAS leaders were meeting in Abuja, the Chani-led junta, however, announced a 21-member cabinet to be led by Ali Muhammad Liman Zaini, who was appointed as Prime Minister by the military on Thursday morning. At its meeting yesterday, the regional bloc said all efforts to dialogue with the Niger junta had been rejected by a co-leader at various intervals, while stressing its continued commitment to restoring constitutional order through peaceful means. Meanwhile, a group, the Concerned Citizens and some notable organizations yesterday kicked against the planned deployment of troops to restore civil authority in Niger. The Economic Community of West African State, ECOWAS, has ordered the Committee of the Chief of Defense Staff to immediately activate its standby force with all its elements. The decision came a few days after the Nigerian Senate reached a resolution rejecting the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's led ECOWAS to deploy troops to Nigeria, saying there was the need to explore a political solution to the crisis. However, hours after the declaration by ECOWAS, Nigeria's military junta said they will kill deposed President Mohamed Bazoum if neighboring countries attempt any military intervention to restore his rule. Daily Mail quoted two Western officials as disclosing this to a top U.S. diplomat. According to the medium, a Western military official said representatives of the junta told U.S. Under Secretary of State Victoria Nuland of the threat to Bazoum during her visit to the country this week. The Associated Press reported that a United States official confirmed that account, also speaking on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to speak to the media. Also, it reported that the Rayuwa Consultative Forum, the Jama'at al-Nasr al-Islam, and other groups in Nigeria had all called for a political solution to the Niger crisis instead of coalition, saying northern Nigeria will bear the brunt of any humanitarian crisis that will happen in the aftermath of military invasion in Niger. Protests on Thursday rocked the venue of the public hearing on a bill for the creation of the local government development areas in Ondo State, organized by the State House of Assembly in Akure. The public hearing was aimed at brainstorming on the document, which will finally give credence to the creation of the 33 local government development areas to complement the existing 18 local government areas in Ondo State. Late last month, the state government announced the creation of 33 local government development areas, saying it will share the same power and function with the existing 18 local government areas of the state once it has become law and fully implemented. Yesterday, leaders and members of some communities in the state stormed the venue of the public hearing in Akure to demand more creation of local government development areas for their domain. The protesters from Ijo in Eseodo local government demanded more local government development areas to be created out of the Eseodo local government instead of ceding their land to Ileja local government. The protesters were led by traditional rulers. The Ekiti state government has suspended a traditional chief in Emesi, Ekiti, in Ngboyin local government of the state, Chief Gabriel Bodunde. The chief was suspended over alleged disrespect, high-handedness, and insubordination to the town's monarch, Oba Olatunji Olatunde. He was also accused of fueling communal crisis in the town through unlawful and arbitrary arrests of subjects over trumped-up and frivolous charges, thereby igniting unnecessary tension. The state's deputy governor, Chief Mace Monisadi Afuye, announced the suspension yesterday while presiding over a petition forwarded to her office by Onimise in council. It was reported that Chief Bodunde was absent at the hearing of the petition, neither did he send any delegation to represent him. Oba Olatunde expressed regret that several entries made to seek peace with Chief Bodunde were rebuffed. He said the embattled chief's disobedience to government's invitation was a height of arrogance. The news is coming to you from studios of Sawaba Radio. Mornings after the short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still on to the services of Sawaba Radio 104.9 Hadija. The Council of Imams and Ulamas in Kaduna State has faulted the Senate's decision to defer the confirmation of the state's former governor, Nasir El-Rufai's ministerial nomination. The Senate had on Monday withheld the confirmation of El-Rufai and two other ministerial nominees over pending security checks. A strong petition was raised against El-Rufai concerning security, unity, and national cohesion when the former Kaduna governor appeared for screening on the floor of the Senate. However, the Council of Imams and Ulamas at a news conference in Kaduna yesterday described the Senate's decision as politics of vendetta and abuse of power against the former governor. The council urged the Senate to immediately clear El-Rufai as the minister. Gunmen on Thursday morning attacked Haipang community of Ladi, local government of Plateau State, and killed 21 persons. It was reported that the attack occurred around 1 a.m. when most of the residents of the community were sleeping. This attack happened 3 days after a commuter who was returning from Kara, a cattle market in Bukur, was attacked and killed in Haipang area. The Biram Youth Molders Association had on Tuesday condemned the killing of the commuter, explaining that the attack was purely an act of criminality by enemies of peace. The spokesperson of the Operation Safe Haven, a multi-security task force maintaining peace in the state, Captain Ola James, had earlier confirmed that 17 persons were killed in the on Monday. However, Biram Youth Molders Rang Tengwang, in a statement yesterday, said aside from the 17 persons killed in the community, 4 more bodies of vigilantes were also surprising that they were being accused of attacking the community, which is not true. He said they learned that there was a warning signal that there will be an attack on the community, and the security agencies were informed. This attack could have been averted if the security has responded on time, he said. The chairman of New Nigerian People's Party, NNPP, have rejected the recent dissolution of the party's executives in 7 states by the National Working Committee. The aggrieved chairman on Thursday described the dissolution as gross abuse of power and unacceptable. The NNPP's National Working Committee had on July 28, 2023, announced the dissolution of the party executive council in 7 states: Enugu, Ekiti, Rivers, Niger, Katsina, Kaduna, and Zamfara over anti-party activities. The National Publicity Secretary of the party, Dr. Major Agbo, who had announced the dissolution in Abuja, said that a 5-man caretaker committee had been constituted to run the affairs of the party in the affected states. But the chairman, in a statement in Lagos on Thursday, described the dissolution as an injustice and sheer irregularity that contravened the party's constitution and the Electoral Act 2022. The aggrieved chairman, Mr. Olakposi Ogine, Ogun State, Mumanda Misa, Niger State, Harry Richard Rivers, Umar Ahmed Katsina, Muhammad Sani Zamfara, Adisa Falade Lagos, Sidan Adegbola Oyo, Nuhu Senya Kaduna, Dada Olayinka Ekiti, and Ibrahim Yahya, ex-official Northwest Sokoto. The statement, which was signed by party chairmen and leaders from Ogun, Niger, Rivers, Katsina, Zamfara, Lagos, Oyo, Kaduna, Sokoto, and Ekiti State, said they were totally against the National Working Committee's action. Now to international scene. The bodies of 23 Rohingyas who were fleeing Myanmar's Rakhine state have been recovered after their boat sank. 30 others are still missing, while 8 people are reported to have survived the mishap. The survivors said they were trying to reach Malaysia when their boat carrying more than 50 passengers foundered and was abandoned by its crew on Sunday. Every year, thousands of Rohingyas attempt to perilous sea journey to Malaysia or Indonesia. They are escaping persecution in Myanmar and overcrowded refugee camps in Bangladesh. Those who died this week include 13 women and 10 men, all Rohingya Muslims, a rescue team told the news. The Muslim Rohingyas are in ethnic minority and predominantly Buddhist Myanmar. Many of them fled to Bangladesh in 2017 to escape a campaign of genocide launched by the Burmese military. Those remaining in Myanmar to have been trying to flee since the military coup in 2021. Most Rohingyas attempt to cross between the months of October and May. They are willing to take the risks and often sell their only assets, such as land, to fund the trip because of the unrelentingly grim condition in which they are forced to live, either as refugees in appalling crowd camps over the border in Bangladesh or subjected to discrimination and restrictions on their movement in Myanmar. South Africa's former president Jacob Zuma has been spared from returning to prison, with officials saying this to ease overcrowding. Zuma, who was sentenced to 15 months for contempt of court, surrendered himself to the authorities on Friday. He had previously been freed on medical parole in a move ruled illegal by the courts. Justice Minister Ronald Lamola said he had been given remission to address overcrowding in prisons. The process aims to alleviate strain on the system by releasing low-risk offenders. South Africa's Commissioner of Prison, Makoti Tobakli, said Zuma had reported to the East Court Correctional Facility in his home province of KwaZulu-Natal on Friday morning and was admitted into the system. Before being released an hour later, the remission status was approved by President Cyril Ramaphosa to more than 9,000 low-risk prisoners. He said that this remission process started in 2021 sparked protests and riots that left more than 350 people dead. He was sentenced after refusing to testify before a panel probing financial sleaze and cronyism under his presidency. He was, however, freed on medical parole just 2 months into his term. An appeal court last November found the release was illegally granted and ordered Zuma back to prison to finish his sentence. Last month, the Constitutional Court rejected an attempt to overturn this decision. That has been the news, but before I go, a recap of the major stories. From the news warhead, ASU decreed federal government's decision to dissolve governing council in universities across the country. Gunmen attack Haipang community in Plateau State, killing 21 persons. South Africa's former president Jacob Zuma spared from returning to prison. That has been the news on behalf of the news department. Continue to announce Halima and Ibrahim. I am Salamat Aliman saying good afternoon.